My mother's died. She's gone. And don't worry. I mean, don't be upset because frankly, I'm kind of not. My mother, I would come home crying when I was a kid. Kids would tease me at school, and my mother would just stand at the sink washing dishes and ignore me. Um, Whenever I got like an academic achievement, she would make this face. My third grade teacher actually told me that if I applied myself, I could get straight A's. Mrs. Magalini, Italian, just Italian woman. She kind of took me under her wing, and I went from being a C student to an A student just because she said I could. My mother always said that, but she kind of always said it almost with a tone of resentment. Like, and it was that point in my life where I went from being this girl who didn't feel good about myself, didn't really care about myself, felt ugly, felt like broken, to being this person who everyone was like, "You're smart. You're really smart. You're super smart." And my parents are MAGA and they're Christian nationals, and they're very much stuck in the 1950s, and they couldn't deal with me. They didn't respect me. The only thing they wanted me to do basically was grow up and make babies, grow up and take care of them when I got older. I never felt like I'd have my own friends. I never felt like I'd have my own life. Well, since she died, my father calls me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and actually, might as well play the message. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear it or not. Oh wait, let me do that again. Laura, I'm past at 5:04 this morning. I just thought I'd let you know. You better find a job. That's my dad. It's always get a job, get a job, get a job. I was working on sets here in California for 5 years. I was paying my rent, paying my car insurance, paying my bills. I show up to set to be told I'm on a list by Disney. After being tripped on a set so bad I couldn't bend my legs. I wasn't harassing anybody. I was working every day on sets, calling in just to get work, not bothering anybody. Of course, as I was had gone through a mastectomy in 2005. I was sexually assaulted around the time of the mastectomy. Um, and I've been trying to figure out when it was. I know it was after I worked on Elizabethtown with Jeremy Gilbreth. Yeah, after I worked on Elizabeth, I know it was that after that because after he did that to me, I tried to avoid working with him. And I think the next time I worked with him was on a commercial where he got into my physical space in 2007. So there was a period of time where I didn't see him at all on sets. Um, Anyways, I was going through all this stuff. I was paying my rent, paying my bills, paying my car insurance on my own, trying to eke through getting through breast cancer, trying to figure out a way to pay for those bills as well. I think actually those bills I sent to my parents. And my father will say I was eating him out of home, house at home. Meanwhile, he had a pool in the backyard, a nice house in Arizona. I'm not from Arizona. I'm from Maryland. My parents moved to Arizona in 95. And he's like acting like my working in the entertainment industry is destroying his life. And he used to say I'm playing. I need to stop playing. Well, that playing was everything to me because I got a theater degree, a master's in performing arts management, and I had a great reputation on sets. I was working every day. Everyone seemed to like me. And then overnight, it went like that. It was gone. And it was so infuriating. And, it got to the point where I felt like people were more interested in finding me a husband or finding me a man to be with than in me actually being able to buy my own car, buy my own house, have my own bills paid, and have a reputation where I was making my own money. Like California's a little messed up that way. We talk about how, California acts like it's all liberal, but not where women's issues are concerned still. Because instead of anyone thinking about the fact that I'm not doing anything to get a man in my life, I don't care about that if I can't have the freedom and I was a kid that had got straight A's in school. I wanted an A at acting. I don't want to, and people, and I was being, at one point I was being attacked saying, you need a voiceover, Laura. You're a voiceover actress. You're basically telling them, you don't want to see my face, right? You don't want to see me. That hurts. And it's also discrimination wrong. Sorry, I'm not blonde, blue eyed, you know, perfect looking. I'm a little freakish looking, I guess. I'm a little, quirky. But actually, people have compared me to um, the actress from Alien, Sigourney Weaver, or Susan Sarandon. And I'm sorry, but if there's an actress out there who looks like me, that means I can also be working as an actress. But anyways, since that message, my father has also called me. That I think is Donald Trump's secretary, like press person. He leaves his message hello, hello twice. And I have no idea why. And I think he's actually setting me up to call him back. I have called him a serious time of day because he really set me off because I'm like, I'm so tired of this. See, my mother used to always go on and on about like how, I was using up my inheritance, how I had some sort of inheritance coming to me. And I'm like, as far as I knew, they didn't have any money. Like every month since 2010, I've expected not to get money from my parents. They've been providing me money since this entire time. What makes me angry is they could have paid off my law school debt while I could have worked on sets at this point because they were giving me enough money to pay off the law school loans while I'm at the same time would have been working on sets, paying my rent, and paying all my bills. And I was trying to find a way to not practice law and not have anything to do with the legal profession because I felt like I was trapped. I didn't want to live up to my father's expectations. I was happy. I was found something I loved so much that I beat cancer. I found something that I was really good at. And I'm so tired of this subliminal messages. Yes, I know that AI is coming. Yes, I know there's going to be fewer acting gigs. Yes, I know that apparently I need to give it up because even though I'm an intellectual, I'm being replaced by a robot. I still want to be an actor. I still want to do acting. I still want to be doing that. I still do want to do what I love. I still have that brain that wants to read a book and find the allegory in the language and find the subtext in the language. I just came from seeing Hamnet, and I love Shakespeare. But hence why I'm reading A Tale of Two Cities, because I love it. And I can't. By the way, I've discovered doing what I've been doing, reading Tale of Two Cities. I don't have the energy to be an Audible actress. I don't. I could not sit there for hours and crank out a book because after like an hour or two of doing it, my throat gets just tired. I get exhausted. It's very exhausting, and it's just really isolating too because I'm not having any connection with anybody. And one of the reasons I'm an introvert, and but I need a certain amount of human contact. Like I really loved working with actors. I really loved being on We Audition. I'm so angry because this one girl picks me and I knew she did it on purpose. I could tell she was out to basically, and I don't know, maybe I did something like this because I have a tendency to itch my nose and she thought I was disgusting, but I don't know. Because I get sick. Or maybe she took a look at me and said, oh, well, she's not gorgeous and hot. She's a white girl, so she must be Karen. So I'm just going to say she's rude. And I wasn't rude. I wanted to help her. And I had a bunch of African-American clients who I loved reading with. I'm not good with names, but I have a list of everyone I worked with and some of the email addresses. I started to go through trying to connect up with people, and then I just got tired. I got halfway through the list. I should see if I can still go through the rest of them at some point. But anyways, this is the one he left me today. Have her keep coming? Have her keep coming to what? No, I don't. No, I don't. No, we don't. Her shoes are bigger. I don't want my mother's panties. I want to see the will. He says I can't see the will. He now says I can't see the will. And apparently some cop did the will for my mom. I want to know if my mom has a life insurance policy. I want to know what's going on. My mother always said I'd get her jewelry. And it's not even the fact that I really don't want it. I wanted freedom from them. I have nothing now because basically for the last 10 years, and a guy named Michael Laverne, who's Homeland Security, recognized my father. A guy named Lee Kibarian comes into my life from Homeland Security. I get said to be told I'm on a list by Disney. And all of a sudden, I'm not working anymore. after 5 years of working every day. And my plans, my parents started calling me, you got to sit down and plan us. I'm sorry, but I'm over the age of 18. I'm past the point of planning my existence with my parents. They're not a part of my life. They're not going to be in my future as far as I'm concerned. They were not supposed to be part of my future. I wanted to marry someone who would actually agree that my parents were not going to be at the wedding and not be in my life and not be around my children if I had kids. Because I did not want my children to learn the insanity of Christian nationalism and learn the kind of abuse that they tried to teach me. I don't want my children hit by my parents. I don't want my father shaking one of my kids so hard that he thinks he's going to fall off. I don't want my kids having their hair brushed by my mother who practically ripped out my hair. No way. No. And above all else, I would want my kids allowed to read books, allowed to grow intellectually. I think what's really frustrating me is I wish I'd been stronger, because I wish I'd spent the last 10 years focusing on focusing on gaining knowledge, focusing on getting smarter, focusing on learning, because that's everything I wanted. To me, working on sets was always learning. Doing acting was always learning. I don't want to teach when I'm still trying to learn. And the weird, crazy thing is, I was getting job offers for things I'm not qualified to do. I have a certificate in digital media. All of a sudden, I was being sent a job offer to be an editing teacher at a community college somewhere. Thinking, I don't want to move to a community college in the middle of nowhere. I do not want to be in a small town in the middle of nowhere. I would like to be in New York or London or somewhere where there's actual culture and sophistication and smarts and brains and people who went to college, not hanging around someone who basically didn't even graduate from college. Which is ironic because Patrick Dempsey and Eric Day, neither one of them graduated from college, and neither one believed that I was an actor or a lawyer. I mean, I have a law degree. I need a lawyer. I do. I need a lawyer to be able to walk back into SAG-AFTRA. I need a lawyer so that Homeland Security leaves me alone, because I'm not my father's property. I do not want to date some cop. I don't need some police officer stalking me from my father. I never committed a crime in my life. I didn't deserve to show up to a set to be told I was on a list by Disney. And my dad knows. My dad knows I didn't do anything. He knows I was a good student. He knows I don't have an STD. He knows I graduated from college a virgin. I didn't even date till I was in college. It's just so aggravating.